Good evening and welcome to Lefty Lab Aviation Attic. Tonight we'll be doing a flight around New York City to take a look at the new SamScene 3D New York City Landmark Scenery Pack, which I just purchased and installed. I guess it's not a terribly new pack, but it's new to me. At any rate, we are tonight flying the Flying Iron Simulations Lockheed P-38L Lightning in the delightful red Yippee livery that comes stock with the aircraft. As you can see from my panning around, that first of all, the sky is beautiful tonight. We can see Orion above the aircraft and the waxing moon above that, and all around the city of New York, various airports, the skies are buzzing with multiplayer and live traffic. It's been a few weeks since I have flown this aircraft, so I've been flying a lot of other planes in the meantime, a lot of much faster movers, the jet fighters, so this is the first time back in the Lightning in a couple of weeks, so I have to kind of remember what I'm doing here. Let's see, cockpit lights are really dark. Well, the instrument lights are really, really bright. I can see that my mixture lever and prop controls are working, so that's good. Let's see, fuel pumps. When the aircraft spawns on the runway, none of the fuel pumps are running, and that's always a problem. And so too is the tank configuration, because sometimes the tank it's pulling from isn't the tank you want it to pull from. But in any case, it's working the way I want to now. Now I just need to figure out how to dim some of these lights and see what I need to see. Oh, that's too bright. That's supposed to be the map light for illuminating the map if you had a paper map, and the compass, secondary compass, those are way too bright. Why aren't my adjustments working? Well, that worked. Okay, let's see if I can get the main instrument panel lighting a little dimmer. Well, that's not working. I don't know what's going on there. But the reflections do look gorgeous on the inside of the canopy. Alright, well, here we go. Bring the power up to about 40 MPa, release the brakes. The aircraft will get squirrely about 80 knots, and you'll hear the tire squeak. And there we go. Pull back. Whoa! Pull back on the stick, and we are up. Raise the gear. Gear is coming up. You can see the red light on the dash as the gear is coming up, and we are off from JFK over in Queens, New York. Look how busy the skies are tonight. It is really a beautiful night to fly around New York City. So as we climb out of the airport, let's gain a little bit of altitude and see if we can get ourselves trimmed properly. Pull back the power a little bit, under about 25 MPa it looks like, and now I'm pulling back the prop speed to about 2500, somewhere between 2000 and 2500 RPM. It'll vary a little bit with throttle position, but that's approximately where we want it for just a sightseeing cruise at low level. I'm also moving the mixture controls here in a minute to auto lean from the, or pardon me, auto rich from the full lean setting. Boy, New York sure is a pretty place at night. So let's head off here towards the west generally and take a look at Manhattan. This glare is really, really killing me here on the screen, and I also have having a hard time getting the aircraft pitched. I've been flying a lot of fly-by-wire jet fighters, and boy, the ability to just point the airplane in the direction you want it to go and not mess with trim is such a modern convenience that when you go back to an analog aircraft, you kind of forget what you have to do. About 2,000 feet right now. I need to get myself on a generally level heading. And why aren't the light controls working? My mouse just wants to zoom in and out and doesn't want to actually like grab the hotspot and adjust the lighting. There we go. That's better. Now I can actually see the instruments, and I can see the reflections on the inside of the windscreen, but they're not like blinding me from the scenery outside. So you can see the East River ahead of me, and the area of Manhattan just north of Central Park. As we pass over the outer boroughs of New York. And we are going to get over the river and start heading basically south to circumnavigate the island. And again, just first of all, marvel at the scenery, marvel at the number of players enjoying the scenery and the beautiful flying conditions tonight. I can already tell that the Samseen bridges down here at this end of the island and the detail of the skyscrapers is just so much better than the stock Asobo Microsoft scenery. It still boggles my mind that the city of New York, what should be a crown jewel for a visually oriented flight simulator, is not modeled in better detail, especially the bridges and the lights and the lighted buildings. And you have to pay extra for quality scenery. That said, the Samseen package was about a little under $17 in the marketplace last night, and it's worth every penny. This is just beautiful, especially compared to the freeware options and the stock scenery. The lights, the details, the colored highlights on the buildings, it's just amazing. And very frame rate friendly. I mean, admittedly, I have a not inconsiderable gaming machine here. It's a Core i7 700 KF and an RTX 3070 card, and I'm running it at 1440p, but no frame rate stutters, no hesitations, no pauses, no jarring discontinuities in the feel and flow of the flight, despite the greatly enhanced detail from the third-party scenery. Truly impressive. The level of detail in this scenery pack compared to the stock just continues to blow my mind. The difference is really incredible. I mean, you can see the dozens of individual buildings have all been modeled and textured. A lot of them have emissive light. On a subsequent flight, not part of this video, I flew over Times Square, and there are individually illuminated and created billboards down in the at street level. One of my future projects will be to take a biplane or something down there and canyon surf, but not in the P-38. But you can see there's buildings with individual lights on the roofs and on the spires. The towers are individually lit. The Midtown residential towers up on the southern edge of Central Park. Just really, really stunningly well done scenery pack. My only disappointment are a couple of bridges on the northern and western sides of Manhattan that are not modeled in as much detail. And to be honest, I will probably buy the New York Bridge pack. They have a version that has a couple of bridges that are eliminated so they won't conflict with the Samseen pack, and I will probably buy that in a week or two, because New York has always been a wonderful place to fly in flight sim, and it's with this scenery pack, it's almost unbelievable how good it is, especially when the weather is gorgeous like it is this evening. Here you can see one of my bigger disappointments in the Samseen pack and in the stock Microsoft Flight Simulator scenery, for that matter. It's the fact that the George Washington Bridge, which is a major beautiful architectural feature of the northern and western side of Manhattan is just very generic, very blah, and it just has that typical flight sim, Microsoft AutoGen, single black block down to the surface of the water, which is ridiculous. However, back to the Sam scenery, one of the lovely features here is Yankee Stadium. The new Yankee Stadium. Of course, I'm old enough to remember the Yankee Stadium that Steinbrenner built and opened in the 70s. This is the replacement for that, but it also looks quite lovely in the scenery pack. And off in the distance there to our right is LaGuardia, which I think it's where I'm gonna land at tonight. I don't feel like flying all the way back to Kennedy. And now we are lining up to land at LaGuardia. I'm not paying very much attention at all to the traffic patterns because, number one, I'm not flying BatSim. Number two, no one else in multiplayer is paying much attention to it, and the weather is very mild and clear with very light winds, so it doesn't matter if I land with a slight tailwind or a slight crosswind. It's not going to make a whole lot of difference with our landing performance. So coming a little bit high per the Pappies, but I'm descending a little faster too, so that's, and as you can see, I'm now on the glide slope. One of the fun things about the P-38 is it has such amazing low lift, but it also has incredible high. Oh, speaking of traffic patterns, someone just took off over my head. That's fine. But the P-38 has such incredible lift. It also has incredible drag, and it takes a lot of power. And if you and we're down. If you put in too much flaps without keeping your power up, you will literally stall the plane almost every single time. So, but that was a New York tour of Manhattan and the Sam Scene 3D scenery. Thank you for flying with us tonight. Hope you enjoyed the ride. Please stick around, and hopefully I'll have more videos for you soon. Thanks.